In a quiet valley surrounded by rolling hills and meadows, there stood a small farm that everyone in the nearby villages admired. Its barns were painted red, the fields stretched wide and green, and the farmer was known for his kindness to every creature that lived there. Among the animals on that farm was a pig named Clement. Clement was round, pink and soft, with a curly tail and big thoughtful eyes. But though he was kind, Clement often felt invisible. The cows always told him, "We are the most important here, Clement. Our milk feeds the farmer's family and makes butter and cheese. What can you do?" The hens clucked, "We lay eggs every day, fresh and warm. What do you do, except eat and sleep?" The goats bleated, "We can carry loads and climb to places no one else can reach. You only roll in the mud." The dog barked, "I guard this place with my life. But you, pig, what danger can you stop?" Even the cats flicked their tails and said slyly, "We keep the rats away, while you do nothing but grow fat." Though their words hurt, Clement never argued back. He often walked to the far corner of the field, under an old oak tree, and thought to himself, "Maybe they are right. Maybe I am worth nothing." But deep inside, Clement had a different kind of strength. He cared. He listened. He noticed things no one else noticed. One warm afternoon, while lying under the oak tree, Clement saw something. A group of children from the village had come to the edge of the field. They carried small baskets, but they looked lost and sad. Clement waddled closer, his snout twitching. He heard one child whisper, "We wanted to pick berries for the travelers, but the goats already took the farmer's baskets to the market. We can't carry them in our hands." Clement's ears perked up. Slowly, he walked over to the children and nudged their baskets gently with his nose. He lay down, grunting softly as if to say, "Place them on my back." At first, the children laughed. A pig carrying baskets. But Clement stood firm, letting out a determined snort. So they tied the small baskets to his back with pieces of cloth. To their surprise, Clement carried them steadily all the way to the farmhouse, not spilling a single berry. When the farmer saw this, he chuckled warmly. "Ah, Clement, you found your own way to help." The other animals noticed too, but they shrugged it off. "It's nothing," muttered the goats. "One small thing doesn't make him useful." But Clement did not stop. The next morning, the farmer's youngest child dropped a wooden toy into the river by accident. The cows mooed, "Too deep for us." The goats said, "We cannot swim." The hens and cats stayed far away. The dog barked from the edge, but dared not enter the current. Clement, however, waddled into the shallow water. He could not swim like a fish, but his strong body floated just enough. With careful paddles, he reached the toy and nudged it back to shore. The little boy hugged him, whispering, "Thank you, Clement." Word began to spread in the farmhouse. Clement might not give milk, eggs, or wool, but he had a brave and gentle heart. Still, the proud animals dismissed him. "Small tricks," the dog scoffed. "Nothing compared to guarding the farm." Then one evening, everything changed. A group of weary travelers arrived at the farm, hungry and tired from their long journey. The farmer welcomed them, and once again, the animals began to argue about whose contribution was greatest. The cows boasted of their milk, the hens of their eggs, the goats of their strength, the dog of his protection, the cats of their vigilance. Their voices grew loud, sharp, and competitive. But Clement was thinking. He saw how tired the travelers were, how their feet were blistered, how their children clung to their mothers, frightened. He thought, they don't just need food. They need comfort, warmth, kindness. They need to feel at home. Quietly, Clement walked to the muddy pond near the field. He rolled in it until his skin was cool and damp. Then, grunting happily, he trotted back to the children, who had been crying from the heat of the day. Curious, they touched his cool skin and laughed. Clement lay down and let them climb onto his back. He carried them around gently, giving them joy when they had forgotten how to smile. The mothers wiped their tears, watching their children giggle on the pig's back. The fathers, too tired to speak, smiled for the first time in days. When the food was ready, milk, eggs, bread, vegetables, it was placed on the table. But it was Clement who had softened the children's hearts, Clement who had made the travelers feel safe, Clement who reminded everyone that kindness itself is a gift. The farmer turned to the animals. Do you see now? Milk, eggs, vegetables, protection. Yes, they matter. But without warmth and humility, food alone is not enough. Clement gives what none of you thought to give: comfort, laughter, and love. The animals bowed their heads in shame. They had spent so long measuring their worth in what they produced, that they had forgotten the worth of the heart. From that day, no one mocked Clement again. In fact, they began to admire him. Clement had not only found his purpose, he had reminded them all of theirs. True value is not always in what you produce, but in how you care. Strength without kindness divides, but even the humblest heart can heal, unite, and bring joy where it is most needed. Let's learn some words from this story. Nudged, meaning, to push something gently with your nose, elbow, or body. Example, the pig nudged the basket to help the children. Slyly, meaning, in a clever, sneaky, or secret way. Example, the cat spoke slyly, making Clement feel useless. Perked up, meaning, to become alert, attentive, or excited suddenly. Example, Clement's ears perked up when he heard the children whispering. Spilling, meaning, causing something to fall out of a container by accident. Example, Clement carried the berries without spilling a single one. Vigilance, meaning, careful watchfulness to notice danger or trouble. Example, the cats boasted of their vigilance in keeping rats away. Trotted, meaning, a way an animal moves quickly but not as fast as running. Example, Clement trotted back happily after rolling in the mud.